And I just want to bring this up because this is exactly what I call the psychological
Yeah.
hunger. You know,
Yeah.
that's it. And what you seem to be doing with that kid is that you're feeding that psychological hunger. You know, yes, right now real estate is so hot and so great and all that stuff, but what you're doing is that he's going to be looking for anything in the world that's always hot and going,
Yep.
and that psychological hunger will always feed at him. And then you're kind of like bringing him to that importance of that ongoing education, what we've just been talking about until now, and pushing him forward. Go find that person who's in that field. Go find that mentor, that whoever you could learn from, that network, whatever it is.
Hmm.
And that's why I love when I heard that term psychological hunger. I was like,
That's
I'm
awesome.
stealing it. I don't even remember where I heard it, but I was like, I'm stealing it. That's it. This is mine from now on. You know.
Yeah. I mean, it is like you get the hunger, and then I mean, let's be honest, right? Like it's natural human instincts, animalistic instinct. It kind of creepy out to think about that. But like if you are hungry and you want to go learn something, and your fears will start to shed
Right.
away, and you will actually go get it. And sometimes, you have to kind of throw in an appetizer there, here and there. And I
Right.
think that's what a coach or a mentor or even a good leader does in any organization, is really kind of give those people the appetizer. Okay. So this is
Right.
but also the greatest thing for me is I'm learning from this young man as well. I'm like, wow, tell me what I did, like, so I can actually scale this out
Right.
even more. I just had,
Yeah.
again, this a young lady in the class who wants to go into marketing, and we brought in appetizers, and we brought in a president of a food company on the south side of Chicago, and he connected her with somebody in the White Sox organization. I
Wow.
got to throw out my White Sox. There's the stadium there. But and they got on a phone call in class yesterday, and I was like, here, go in the office, do what you got to do, right? And
Mm.
she came out of there, and she's like, oh my gosh, she taught me 2-3 really good things. I'm like, well, there you go. So that's that appetizer to get that hunger going too. I love that term.
Yeah.
I love that, especially because, first of all, if I understood what you just said, you let a student ditch class
Yeah.
to speak to somebody who would, in the long run, have a much bigger impact on them than that 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it was that they weren't in your class, which is huge because I think
25.
nowadays a lot more educators are doing that.
Yeah.
But really, like when I was in school, that wasn't the case. You need to go to the bathroom. You had to get permission. You're only allowed to go once, right? So forget.
You have the
speaking
slip.
to
Did you have the
adults.
slip that you had to pick from like the board or whatever they had
Oh
there?
my gosh, that was
Oh my
horrible.
goodness.
And then we got smart. So what did we do? We made photocopies of it and we laminated it,
God.
and then we just didn't show up to class. And if somebody caught us, oh, I'm going to the bathroom, right?
Mm.
Brilliant. I don't know why more students don't do that, by the way. I'm like,
Right.
it's a yellow sheet of paper. It's no.
So I told my students, my current students, I said, you guys can attempt to get away with whatever you want, but make it good. So like if I walk out of the room and you're supposed to be sitting quietly and you're going to send somebody to watch, at least do it discreetly. Like don't have them standing in the middle of the hall. Don't have them say, oh, Rabbi Dubrow's coming back. No, be discreet about it. And like we worked on it, and then they got too good at it and I had to like nix it. But the other thing I wanted to say was, Jeremy, you mentioned this in the podcast, and this really ties into, Peter, what you were saying. This kid who's interested in real estate right now, or the kid who's interested in the White Sox, or whatever it may be, right now that may be their interest, and that may not be what they're going for long term. Maybe 5 years down the line, they've been successful at real estate and they're going to want to try something else, or they weren't successful. But the point is they're building skills now that will last them much longer. And, so we all know the famous quote, a jack of all trades is a master of none.
Yep.
Most people don't know that there's a continuation to that. And it's actually, I have it on my phone here, a jack of all trades is a master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one. And we hear this, a jack of all trades is master of none. So that lives, we have to focus on one thing and only do that one thing in our life. No, experience things, learn different things, and see where life is going to take you, and use everything that you've learned. Like, I was speaking to somebody because we recently got trained in, not positive parenting. It's the
Negative parenting. I
Negative,
like it.
exactly. Nurtured heart approach, right? And so I was having this discussion with a fellow educator about it, and they're like, listen, I think it's complete, utter BS. You know, when are you going to discipline it? And I said, listen, I don't agree with everything, because I think there has to be some sort of strict discipline here and there. But at the same time, there's going to be a kid that I'm going to have, or even adult that I'm going to meet at some point, whose strict discipline is not going to work for, and they need the nurtured heart approach, or the nurtured heart approach is going to get them to the point where structured discipline works for them. So we have to, as educators, as leaders, as entrepreneurs, as parents, as adults, you know, we have to have a tool belt that is filled with tools that we can pull from at any point. It's not enough to know one thing.
Yeah.
So sure, go out there, learn about real estate, go out there, learn about sports management, go out there, learn about education, for crying out loud. So that way, when you end up finding that thing that is really what you're passionate about, you'll now be able to pull from all of these, you know, different things that you've experienced.
Mm-hmm.